En el primer día del EVO 2025, Seth Killian le hizo una entrevista a Arslan Ash. Es una entrevista bastante amplia, así que para que puedan verlo con tranquilidad. Y dentro de las cosas principales que habla en esta entrevista, tiene relación con la rivalidad en I, con el tema cultural pakistaní, el manejo del ego y la humildad, parte de su entrenamiento, unas preguntas bastante cortas también, y sobre el futuro de la comunidad fighting en general. Así que les voy a dejar aquí subtitulado dicha entrevista.
Thank you. What an incredible legacy. I want to welcome you here today and thank you for your time. 5 EVO championships already. I think one of the greatest records in EVO history. You're maybe on your way to a 6th this weekend. Certainly one of the strongest legacies in the modern era. But you've been winning on Tekken 7, right? You've been practicing unparalleled record in Tekken 7. You did so well, developed an incredible record, just giving great feedback. Every decision you were making was the right decision. And now Tekken 8 comes. It's a new game, much more aggressive game, built to attract a new audience. A difficult shift. There's a concept in Zen they call beginner's mind, where you try and approach every situation like it's your first day. It's your first time seeing it. Talk to me about your transition from Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. It was rough at the beginning, but you found your way. What was the secret?
Yeah, you were right. Like, Tekken 7, I was so dominant at the end. Like, I closed Tekken 7 with Tekken World to a final win. But Tekken 8, you know, I struggled a lot in the beginning. I lost because it was completely different from Tekken 7. Tekken used to be a fighting game where you could win with just small pokes, like down for ones, and then good decision makings. And the reward for 50-50 in Tekken 7 was balanced. Like if you block Kazuya Hasu, he get launched, you know, you get a full combo. But now, when I first played Tekken 8, I was like, what is this? Too much 50-50s, too much aggression. Even before, like we have seen the interviews of Harada and other people, they were saying like we are making it aggressive, you know, but we didn't know that they could make this much aggressive, where you can just hold your handle back. Like we have seen Azucena doing a lot of pressure, so it was rough. Like I have been playing from Tekken 6, but that was the first time I was like, I have to learn the game from the beginning. You know, this is a completely different game with the same characters, but the whole thing has been changed.
One of the challenges of being a top player, they say sometimes it's lonely at the top, right? Because you have no maybe where to go up, yeah. So everyone is looking for you to lose. So the only expectation, all you can do is kind of stay in the same place. It's very difficult. But maybe the Tekken 8 reset in some ways was a gift to give you like a new mountain to climb. Talk to me about climbing a new mountain and also the role of rivalry to keep you motivated to play in addition to just getting the wins. How do rivals factor into your motivation?
Yeah, I think I am a kind of guy, even in my school days, I wanted to get number 1 position, you know, even, so I have grown this way. So in fighting games, I always wanted to become number 1.
How early did you know you were very competitive? Like from the time you were a little kid?
I think when I was in 5th grade. Yeah, I don't know how old I was. Maybe 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old. Yeah, in the beginning, like as I told, like a lot of people starting saying, "Oh, Arslan was good in Tekken 7." I have seen I read the comments like, no, Arslan was only good in Tekken 7, he cannot win in Tekken 8. And which was kind of sad, you know. I got demotivated many times, but I knew deep inside me, you know, that I could win. And when I changed my mentality, that, okay, now I have to learn this game. I am a beginner. I have to relearn this game. And then I did that, and then I won my first EVO, and that was great, you know.
Just a little EVO. Yeah, that's fantastic. I think a lot about one of the first matches that I remember where you really came onto my radar. I feel like you were playing like Keisuke maybe in like it was maybe a semifinal. I should have written it up before I came out here. But you defended for maybe like 12 in-game seconds in a row, where you did almost nothing. And I was just very impressed with the defense, but also the restraint. How do you think about your...
Keisuke.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Keisuke. Maybe it was someone else.
Not the same. It was, I think, maybe a 2023 match.
Oh, EVO?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was an EVO.
I think it was not Keisuke. I have never fought EVO with Keisuke.
Well, we'll not worry about it. I was impressed with your defense.
Okay, okay.
I should have written down the match.
Okay.
But it was a beautiful, like, not just that you made good defensive choices,
Yeah.
but you had the restraint to not attack. So sometimes great players, what they do is sort of bait you, they invite you to attack. They create an opportunity by inviting you to attack. He would give little openings and still you would not break. And it's very difficult to play against a player. So where does that come from? Not just good defensive choices, but the willingness to wait for your time. How do you make a decision about when it's time to go in versus when I'm going to hold in defense?
I think it comes from experience. First time, I think also it's like it has great influence from Pakistani Tekken style because they press a lot. Like the way
They press a lot, yeah.
the way I think I beat Pakistani players is I just wait and they give mistake. I think that's how I learned, just to defend. If you just defend, they give you a chance. So they give you a mistake and then you take the chance and win. But when I started, this was in Pakistan, that's how I was like, okay, if I just do defense, I can win. But when I went outside, I saw, no, this is not me. Korean players, they play more defensive. They don't attack. Now you have to attack. And then Japanese player and Korean player, they have very similar play style because they play with each other a lot, and then you develop this play style. We have very unique play style where we don't scare of, doing a 50-50 or doing a risk or taking a risk. So through traveling, through experience, I was like, okay, now you shouldn't press. I think it's more like versus Pakistani player, I don't press a lot, but versus Korean or Japanese or other players, I press a lot because this is how I learned, they don't press, so you should press more. Europeans, you should be like 50-50. So it's like how I learned, yeah.
It's very regional. I think you were right that the Pakistani scene had like a very unique flavor when it first came out, and part of that was definitely isolation, right? Like you see, not able to play as much as the Korean and Japanese players played each other, so your style developed in a different way.
Yeah.
You see similar things sometimes in music, other kinds of food, local culture, right? Has a special flavor. How do you think about what defines for you like the Pakistani style?
Pakistani style. I think it's like a mixture of both defense and offense. It's just not defense and it's offense. And then if you like see our play, we just don't think of too much. Oh, if I take this risk, what will we might can lose. I think we don't think about this. We just say, okay, we'll see what will happen, and we just take risk. It's fine. But on the other hand, I know it's a bad thing in tournament, but it's in our blood. I think we just don't care. We just throw moves, sometimes. But some other times we just play defensive. So it's like a mixture of both. I think that's kind of play style is very like unpredictable.
Yeah, I think that's close to the essential, right? It's tough to have a good defensive opponent, but someone who's also willing to take a game-winning kind of risk out of nowhere is very dangerous to kind of corner.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about EVO, and sometimes what I tell people that don't know fighting games, is what's exciting is also the scary thing about EVO is that you're going to be seen when you play here, right? People will really see you. So they see all of your tiny mistakes. Every little misstep is judged by experts. But at the same time, those same experts also really appreciate the magic when you make an excellent move, right? You're in front of a special audience of experts.
Yeah.
How do you know when you've cracked a player? Like when you can smell blood in the water and you go in, like you could tell sometimes when you're watching, you could tell even a great player will sometimes start to collapse or freeze up. What gives you the spark in the eye that like, I've got them now?
It's a very tough question. Like nobody has asked me this question, but I think there's something like when you are playing someone, and then if you have 2 or 3 reads, they will start losing, their confidence, and then I think that's the time where you can attack. and you can, or maybe if you miss a combo, maybe that thing, or most of the time it's about good reads. If you have very good reads, maybe 2 or 3 in tournaments, and then that player is like, nah, I cannot win. Maybe if you have good reads, then.
You said a lot there. One of the things I always say is the fastest way to get a good player to lose is to make them think, right? If they have to think about something live in the match, very expensive mentally. So like if you get red 2 or 3 times in a row, like you're like, uh-oh, I gotta go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
if you
yeah.
miss your combo, like you said, you're sort of stuck, you're like, stupid, you know?
Yeah.
You're upset with yourself, you're not thinking. And so those create those kind of windows for opportunity to attack. For you, I was watching a lot of your old matches, which is why I watched too many.
Like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got too many in my brain now. And I noticed you almost never get hit by the same thing 3 times in a row. Like
really?
You make very good, yeah, news to you. You're very good at adjusting to make sure you don't get hit repeatedly, like that same kind of read in a row. You want to make sure that they have to do different things to try and hit you. And so you adjust super fast, and I find that very impressive. And it's not just that you make all the right decisions or so quickly, it's that you're making sure that they don't get that, I hit you with the same thing 3 times in a row, because now you're going to get stuck in your own head. And that almost never, I mean, of course you lose sometimes matches, but like, you never get hit by that, and I think it's really impressive. What do you think is your sort of secret stat? Like what is the thing that you do that's sort of, that you have more points in that stat category than all the rest of the players?
I think the one that you mentioned, that's the one I think is correct, because I think it's like a good player thing. It's like a pro player thing. If you're getting the same thing again and again, I don't think you are a good player or like a top player. So that's one of the quality of a top player. What I think is good about me and why I win is I think my decision making is really good. And I think I read my opponent really well. Maybe these 2 qualities. Decision making, somehow I don't know how I do that, but I know when they're gonna go for a low or mid or something like that. You know, it's just, also I think one thing that I just don't get pressurized so much. Even when I watch my own matches, like I make comebacks, I don't think of, I think I can handle pressurized situation very well.
So you talked about just making good reads, and I'm not sure, right? So there's a lot of it is just intuition and kind of staying in the moment, which is great. Yeah. Sometimes you're looking for a certain attack or you're looking for a certain move, and I think everybody understands how that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see top players, they're not just looking for what the player does, they're also looking for what the player does not do. Like, oh, he's not doing this, they're not going for this.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's often the difference between like a very good player and a truly great player, is that they can see even things that are not happening. So what are do you ever look for, is there a thing that you're looking for that's not happening? Like this guy's not doing this.
Yeah, before I was like, it was irritating. Okay, I laughed this, but this guy is not doing it. But recently I discovered, okay, if he's not doing this, I instantly change. Okay, I have plan B always, like, okay.
That fast adjustment again,
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm waiting for this. I wait for like 2 seconds. If it doesn't do that, I will change it to something else. I have been like thinking of this thing that you mentioned a lot. Like sometime when I wait for some move and he doesn't do that, I just don't wait for too much. I just change it like, okay, let's do something else.
And part of the way you can do that is by having, you have that, you're looking for it, you have it as a category in your head so you can spot it, even though they're not doing it. I could talk for a long time about that. There's the Bruce Lee story about like, I don't fear the man who has practiced 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who has practiced 1 kick 1,000 times, which I think I'm getting the quote wrong. Is there sort of one technique that you have practiced that you think of is the centerpiece of your game? Is it the defense? Maybe these adjustments? I don't want to keep asking you the same thing.
I mean, that's the most difficult questions like I have ever asked. I don't know, like, I think practice is the key. Bruce Lee is right, of course. You have to practice 7 hours a day. For me, I think 7 to 8 hours, if there's a big tournament coming up. But For me, it's more like
A
labbing.
full-time job. That's what that looks like, right?
Yeah. I think we
Treating it like a professional.
professional, but I think it's more like that's one thing. But studying your opponent is the one thing, and adjusting. Also thinking of their weaknesses. Some players they just don't block low. Some players they duck so much. Some players are very aggressive, and some players they are very reactive. So if you need to find out like what's the category of your opponent. Is your opponent is very defensive? This is very important to like understand. Also, characters to characters vary as well. Like versus some characters, some players duck so much. So you also need to. This is the second layer. It's like a lot of things like happening, but I think it's also important to understand your opponent, how he plays, how he thinks. Is the kind of guy who love to press, or is the kind of guy who just don't press? If he's kind of guy who do rage art or no? Or in heat, some people save heat, some people don't save heat. So it's like a lot of things, a lot of layers. But yeah, this is also important, you know, just apart from practicing, these things are also important.
I agree. Yeah, there's sort of like a checklist you can go down to see like how they're playing that day. Are they playing not to lose, or are they trying to blow me up or whatever? And you can make better choices. That's excellent. I could definitely talk about that kind of stuff with you the whole time. But let's talk about. A lot of people know the story of the Pakistani scene, like being built up by everybody's work under difficult circumstances, and I think it's inspiring to a lot of people. It's very resonant for me because that's the EVO story as well, right? Like EVO is also built sort of with, you know, now today we're blessed with all kinds of sponsors and people from around the world, but at the beginning it was just motivated people that love fighting games and really wanted to see it happen. And so I feel like there's a very special thing about something that you have to build yourself in the grassroots. Tell me about what that means to you and what motivated you to help be a part of that in the first place.
What motivated me to what?
Fair enough. What does the Pakistani scene mean to you that you were able to build it yourself rather than, you know, have a great sort of starting sponsorship? Now you're blessed with Red Bull and other great sponsors, but
I think
that sense of ownership.
Yeah, I think I am very happy or blessed to be a part of Pakistani scene, and I am here, of course, because of my country, because of Pakistan. I think the culture over there, or the culture before, it was like, I don't think it was a very good culture, but it was full of rivalries. Even like I remember like, for me, I didn't have enough money to just go and play. So we used to play, I used to play, and my rivals both, we used to play money matches to win. Like, for me, I didn't have even money to pay the shopkeeper the fee to play it. Yeah, you know, so I used to do money matches. So this was back into Tekken 6 times. So that was the kind of culture we used to have. Everywhere you go, money match, money match, money match. Because everyone was poor. Me, Hira, and few other players. We all were the same. We didn't have like, we used to eat 2 times, I think. And this is how we used to live. I think that, maybe that helped us get better. You know, when you strive for something, you really value that thing. And maybe that helped me, you know. I wanted to like have money. I wanted to win. Maybe that helped me, you know, where I am today.
Yeah. You talked about the scene was driven by a lot of rivalries at the beginning.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have beef with somebody? Like when you have like bad blood, how does that start? What does it mean to you if you like, I don't like this guy, he doesn't like me, we have beef? What does that mean?
So there's a story. There's a guy called Hace. He still played Tekken, but so very first time, he used to be very famous in Tekken 6 time. So I was getting famous, I was getting better in my area. So I went to his arcade center. So we used to have different arcade centers, you know. Arcade centers are used to be very common thing in Pakistan. So I went to his arcade center and I asked him, let's play FT20. He said, I don't want to play FT20 with you. If you want, you have to play money match. I was like, how much? He said 500 rupees. I was like, I have only 10 rupees. How can I play 500 rupees? But he was very arrogant
You were
at that
getting
time.
bullied. Yeah, he was
He
bullying
was
you.
very arrogant, and I was like, okay, if can you play some matches? No. So he was like king of his arcade center, and then he used to be the best player in Pakistan at that time. So how we used to think of if someone is better is because no one can beat money match with that guy. So because, and also he has some sponsors. We didn't have any money. He has some like sponsors, like sponsor in terms of people, rich people. So they used to put money on him. So we didn't have anyone rich. For me, I didn't have anyone. I was like, I have to beat this guy, and so somehow, like in 2 months, I collected 500 rupees. You know, I asked a bunch of people, like, I wanna beat this guy. No, you cannot beat him. I was like, no, trust me. And then I played money match, 500 rupees with him, and I lost. But I lost from 30 to 25. That was close, and that gave hope to everyone. Like I saw, like even in a small arcade here, like this one, 50 people were watching. You know, watching my match, and it gave hope to everyone that, oh, we can also win from a West.
This guy can be beat, yes.
Yeah.
He bleeds like everyone else.
We can beat him. And then there was a tournament, like the biggest tournament in Pakistan. It's called GMC. And then I faced him in the grand final. And then I beat him in the grand final. And then we played another money match after that. We played a money match of 1,500 rupees because I won money from the tournament. I was like, okay, I can play now. And then I beat him very badly. I think, yeah, it's like, I think it's the rivalries, you know, that helped me. No, I am better, and I want to beat this guy. And a lot of rivalries, you know, that's kind of culture we used to have. Now it's better, but I grew up in that culture. I grew up in like, around very arrogant people, or yeah.
Same. I grew up in the
Oh,
arcade,
same.
so yeah. No one knew who was the best, so everyone had a big head, and they all thought they were the champ, and it was a lot of bullies. It was good times. One of the best things about excuse me, we got too far into it. It's
Okay.
we've been having a good time chatting, but we're gonna throw over to Jadelyn and for a quick commercial break. Very nice. You're looking good up there. Incredible string of victories. Side question, do you ever practice jumping up and down and winning? A lot of players fall down. Like, I don't feel like have you ever fallen after a victory?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, nice. You got a good record. I don't want to jinx it, but some players don't have the best luck when they get too hyped.
Digesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a proud tradition of knocking yourself down. You've had a great run. So we were talking before, you're talking about rivalries, you're talking about money matches. Of course, you have one of the most famous rivalries in the world of fighting games with the Grand Tekken Master Ni. Talk to me about what's going on there these days.
These days, I think a lot of drama. I don't know. It's like a lot of things. Also, one thing about we were talking about money matches and all. I think that was survival mode for me at that time when I was young. I had to play fighting games, but I didn't know that was the only way to pay my bills. Bills in terms of like to pay the shopkeeper the fee of coins, you know, we play. So that was survival mode for me. But now,
So when you're at a certain level of poverty, right, you don't have a lot of choices.
Yeah.
You just gotta gotcha.
I have more choices now. Now, if it's I can decide if I wanna do that or not. But at that time, I didn't. I had to do that to play game the other day. You know, if I don't have. So that's a different story now. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. But I still feel I don't hate him or anything. It's just game thing, you know. It's just like Tekken thing. And our story has been one of the craziest stories of rivalries till today. And he's an amazing player, you know. But I think it's mostly about the characters. It's about Brian, and it's about it's a lot of stupid things. I think he just don't like that I say his character is top 5 or top 2. I don't know why.
Sure. Yeah. We'll talk about Brian and Nina in a bit. one question I guess I have is, one of the things that I love about fighting games is that, you know, in the game we're all beating each other up and we're competing outside the game to see who's the best. But weirdly, over time, because we're doing a thing that's hard, you come to understand another person very deeply. So when I'm thinking about when you have beef or when you have rivalry with someone, sometimes by playing that person more and more, you find new respect for them.
Okay.
Like you find an because you understand them as a player and you can appreciate the excellence. What does respect mean to you? What does it mean for you to have respect?
Respect. The questions. I think respect is
To get it, to give it, yeah.
I think it's such a tough question. I mean, respect is like, I don't respect players. Like, why do you respect someone? Because he has great career, or he's better than you. But I don't think anyone is better than me. Like, so why do you respect someone? It's a really tough question. But I don't know.
Maybe respect is not the right attitude if you're trying to win. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Like, I respect you as a player, yes. Like, if I consider you a worthy rival, that's why I respect you, yes, yeah.
So we were talking just before the interview a little bit about some things that have changed from sort of the early days of competitions to what's changed now. One of the things, talking about Brian, talking about, you know, characters, one of the things that's changed is now we have access to the developers of the games in a new way, right? You have social media, you can talk to them, sometimes you can tag them in a post to be like, here's what I think, and obviously all of us can do that, but we care more sometimes about deep experts and what their opinion might be. So how do you think about the opportunity to talk to developers, and how do you think about, like, where is the edge of the game, right? Is that considered in the game to be trying to help your character be better, to balance the game in a way that you think is better? What's your responsibility? How do you draw these lines?
Yeah, it's such a...
It's all part of the game?
Yeah, it's really nice. I think that you could share your opinion now. Like back in Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, you couldn't do that. But now you have access to share your opinions. And when you are an audience, then, you know, your opinions, they listen to you. They have to listen to you because it go viral, and then eventually they will see, okay, we have to do something about this, you know. And it might trigger someone, you know, okay, he's talking about our character. I think that's where the hatred started, you know. If I say something about someone else's character, and if he doesn't like it, he started hating me. But I'm saying the right thing, but you don't have to agree with me, you know. It's your character. You have been like working so hard every day, you know, labbing. And if I say, no, your character is up, it need to be nerfed. And then, of course, you're starting hitting me. So it's like, it's really strange. But it's also good. If you don't tell those things, then you cannot have a balanced game, you know. So I don't know, it's good or bad, but maybe it's a good, overall it's a good thing, you know. But so because developers are not blind, they can hear, they don't want to like, oh, he's saying this thing, we do this thing, because they have a team of people. I think it's good to share the opinion. We are living in a good area, good era.
I've been on all sides of this thing as a player and a developer, and I gotta agree, we'd be happy to. Don't always like hearing the opinions, and sometimes they're not said in a nice way, but I think it's valuable to hear from everybody. So I think if you look at it from that perspective, it's both a right and a responsibility in some ways. So it's good, and I think it helps us talk about the game if you have to put your opinions down and say them out loud and make an argument. I think you're talking about the right things if you're having these arguments.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. So I think that's healthy. Okay, let's speed things up a little bit. We'll get back to some big questions. We'll do a little game I call overrated, underrated. So you just tell me whether this is overrated or underrated.
Okay.
Also, you could say accurately rated.
Accurate?
Yeah,
okay.
But that's the boring in the middle answer. So, okay, Tekken Tag Tournament 1. Underrated, overrated?
I didn't play that game.
What? Okay, bad answer. Pakistani Tekken scene. Underrated, overrated?
Underrated.
U.S. Tekken scene, underrated, overrated. Fast,
Overrated.
fast. Overrated? Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, then they never win something big. So how can in Tekken?
Okay,
So yeah.
that one hit for triple damage. EU Tekken scene, underrated, overrated.
I don't like you as well. Like overrated.
Overrated. Everyone's getting overrated. The blow-ups are real. Korean Tekken scene.
Overrated.
Everyone is overrated. All right, Japanese scene I think is the
Underrated.
underrated. I think that's maybe correct. Brian, the character.
Overrated, of course.
Overrated. Overrated. Okay.
Overrated, yeah.
Okay. Playing defense in Tekken 8.
Overrated.
Overrated. Nina.
Underrated.
And are you ready to back that up here this weekend? We'll let it go. We'll let it go. Talk to me about a lot of great players are not just some come out of nowhere, and I think Pakistan surprised a lot of people, but a lot of great players come from a scene. They come from a crew.
Okay, sorry. I think I just take back.
Are we going back to underrated, overrated?
Yeah. I think just the Korean thing was underrated. I love. So the thing is, that was a joke, but in reality, we all learned watching Koreans. So watching Korean Tekken, watching Tekken Crash or something, that was a joke. But if you ask me honestly, I think we all grew up watching Korean Tekken players, and their gameplay, we learned a lot from them. So yeah, if you ask me my honest opinion, yeah, underrated.
For
very
sure.
strong,
I think
very strong region. Yeah.
Historically, there's no doubt Tekken was brought to a whole new level by the
I
Korean
think
players across many games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the Koreans like who because of them and Japanese Tekken is so popular. So yeah, 100%.
They're the foundation of the whole everything that's
Yes,
grown on
yes.
top. It's good. So that makes me ask a question. I want to hear about the crew, but also you have this will to win and sort of an aggressive, like, I don't respect anyone, I'm going, which is great, but you also have it balanced with this humility, right? You're a man of faith, right? You dedicate your wins to a lot, but like, how do you balance this humility with the crazy confidence and aggression? How does that work?
I think it's so hard. Like sometimes I get backlash, and I don't find an answer to balance it. But every time I win, like deep inside me, I was like, no, I should be staying humble. But there's a different personality of me online, where it's like, no, I am the best. But which is actually true. Like you have to think this way. Like if you don't think way, if you just keep thinking like, no, he is the best or they are the best, then you can never be the best. When you have a lot of accomplishment, you can say that. But sometimes I feel like I just don't like. Okay, if I have an opinion, I have to evaluate. I don't want to like. No, I will not say this because it might look arrogant. That's not me. If I say Brian is top 1, doesn't matter. No one, if somebody is not, if like the whole community doesn't like me, I will say that thing. I think that's about me. I just don't feel of like, oh, I might upset this guy. That's a lot of players are doing. They don't share their opinion because they think that, oh, we might upset someone, we might upset developers. So I'm not a kind of guy. I just say my opinions. So maybe it make me feel arrogant, but I just don't, it's just me,
Just trying to express yourself. So as a top player, I guess sort of a two-part question. What do you feel that you owe the community, and what do you feel the community owes to you?
Wow. I am here because of the community. If Pakistani Tekken players and they were so strong, that made me strong. So they helped me, reach where I'm at today. And I need to like give them more opportunities, which I am giving them in sort of like every win that I win, it helps the scene more. It gives Pakistani scene more spotlight. It gives them more, opportunities. Because now you can see like here we have 7 or 5 Pakistani players, and in 2019 I was the only one, and in 2025 we have 5 players at EVO. And not only that, we have many sponsored players from Pakistan, like a lot of big companies, Twisted Mind, Falcons, whatever, like Wolves, and many other teams. We have sponsored players from Pakistan of all of the teams. So it's really good. So I think I owe them these things, and I can do that by winning more.
Open the door for more people to follow in the path. I think that leads me to sort of, this is one of the, if the questions weren't strange enough so far, get ready. You're undoubtedly one of the kings of Tekken, all-time kings. One of the things about kings is that they can act with nobility. They can exercise power to open up doors for other people. They can try and become their best selves. What does it mean to you to be a king? How do you want to be, what is a way you could be noble? Too weird?
If I'm a king,
Yeah.
how would I do?
What should a good king do?
Like for Tekken or
For anything, for your scene, yeah.
for my scene? I would change my passport. I think that's the only thing that is stopping us for traveling a lot. And okay, how you get better? It's through traveling. It's like one of the things that you can get better. So we know that we have strong players. We know that our scene is one of the best scenes in the world, but we don't have opportunities to travel. We have sponsors as well. We have everything. Like, but we don't have a strong passport. We cannot travel. I think that would be the first thing I would do, is to make my passport the best. Or I think, yeah.
That's the very basis of opportunity, right? Apart from the skills, you need to be able to go around and test them. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Very down-to-earth answer. I guess I'm also curious, coming into the FGC before you were able to travel, when I first started playing in the scene, I was here to play the games, and I had a great time playing the games and getting better and growing stronger, but I was also blown away at just the weird characters that came to play, right? They were unusual people from all over the world. So I was curious, before you were able to travel, what did the Pakistani players think of the rest of the FGC? How did it look to them?
Rest of the GC, like outside of
Yeah,
Mode?
if you're watching video or whatever, like how does it look from the outside?
Yeah. So, very, very good question. Everyone used to think of Koreans and Japanese are something else. Even when I first started traveling, my brother, he told me, no, there's no way you can win. You can win from Korean, Japanese, because they used to dominate the scene, and everyone else, like because I think the very first guy from Pakistan was Avas. He's the same guy, you know. He came to Japan, and he lost to Nobi, and he lost to someone else, and then he came back. He said, no, we cannot win. I was like, and I was different. Trust me, I was different. When I used to watch the gameplay, I was like, no, their blocking is so bad. I can block these things. I can react to this stuff. They are not reacting. Why they are eating Nina's sweep, wipe the floor? No, I can react every time. I can react to this stuff, and they are not reacting. I used to think, no, I am better than them. But the rest of the people, they think of them something else. I think my first win, even this is the thing from Atif, you know, we all know him. Before I beat Ni, he was like, no, we cannot win from them. When I beat Ni, it's the same story with Avas. When I first beat Avas, everyone started thinking of Avas like, no, we can beat this guy. And then when I beat Ni first time, everyone in Pakistan, oh yeah, because we play with Arslan, we sometimes beat Arslan, then we can beat them, you know. So it gave hope to everyone. So yeah, there was two opinions. I think my opinion was completely changed from the rest of the FGC in Pakistan.
I think that's I can really feel that story. It sounds exactly, I think that's been a common case where you treat certain class of players or a group of players as like unbeatable gods, and then somebody is willing to disrespect it and say like, no, I believe it can be possible.
Yeah.
If you don't believe you can win, it's very difficult. And there's literally a thing I call top player privilege, where if you're a very good player, I give you extra respect. Like, oh, he won't do something stupid. Of course he won't do this.
Yeah.
And then you're losing, right? Like you're giving up a lot when you play with respect versus a top player. So that will to win and that will to just do what needs to get done, I think is really critical. Incredible stuff. I think about a lot of also your early days in KOF, like you're a King of Fighters top player as well.
Oh, so that's no. So that there's like a misconception that I used to be a KF player. No, I used to be a Tekken player, and then in Tekken Tag 2, when I became super famous in no one was able to beat me at that time in Pakistan. Then I started playing KOF, and I became so good in KOF that no one was able to beat me in KOF as well. So I was like the best in KOF and Tekken at that time. So yeah, that was my reason to starting playing KOF, because no one was beating me in Tekken.
I think about players that are able to dominate across kind of multiple games. I think about, Goichi or Chris G or Ryan Hart, Justin Wong, F Champ. Like there's so many people who are impressive across different games. What do you feel like there's some underlying skill at the heart of fighting games that makes you good from one to the next? What does that look like?
I think there are some things that I learned from KF, yes. And there are some things that I learned, like, that I carried from Tekken to KF when I started playing KF. Maybe they can give better answer because they play more fighting games, but I only play Tekken and KF. But yeah, you take skills from one game and you apply those skills from other game as well. Like KF helped me with my reaction timing, because they have 3 frame
short
moves.
Hops. Yeah. Short hops and fast jabs.
Fast jab, and Tekken is 10 frame jab. The smallest frame is 10 frame, like the punch, the jab. But KF has 3 frame. It's starting from 3 frame or 5 frame something, 4 or 5 frame. Yeah. So yeah, they help with my reaction timing better. I don't even right now. I cannot eat overhead. I can block every overhead because I practice the overhead so much in KF 13, and I was like one of the guy who never eat overhead. So yeah.
We saw that a long time ago when Street Fighter, when there started to be Marvel players and they were playing much faster. Yeah. So none of the overheads worked against the Marvel kids.
See,
they were too fast.
You take some skills from one game.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. We're getting near the end, so I'm going to ask a few legacy questions. But before that, I guess we talked about rivalries and beef. What does it take to get past that? How do those end, rivalries?
I think the one way, when you get better, when you beat that guy, and then when that guy can never beat you, that's one thing. You become friends.
There is a level up experience that is weird, where you sort of, that guy can't beat you anymore.
Yeah, and when you beat that guy so much, and then he was like, okay, you are good.
It's
that's the one way.
Like a dog who shows you the belly. Like you go, okay, yeah, I give up.
Now you are better. I think that's the one way. And then it's like, he beat you sometime, and then you beat him sometime, and then you become friends. And then that rivalry ends. And then there is like, no, it doesn't matter how many times I lose, I'm going to beat you. And then sometimes that guy beat you as well. I think those rivalries never ends.
So let's talk about legacy, right? Like you're already one of the top EVO winners of all time. Undisputed legacy in Tekken 7. Let's talk about today. What's the #1 change you'd like to see in the fighting game community today?
The change in fighting game community overall? I don't know, like what change?
More EVOs, less EVOs,
more
money, more sponsors, less sponsors, more specialized players, more deodorant, whatever it might be. Yeah.
I think that there's a thing, like I said, that there should be less EVOs. I didn't mean that. I mean, EVO USA should be the special, and then I don't mind the growth. There should be more EVOs, but I feel like EVO USA, for me, has a special place. There's a story like the first time when I beat Nee, because my story starts from him after beating him, so every time I have to mention him because he's in my story, So when first time I beat him, there's a lot of people. Okay, you beat him this time. When you beat him at EVO USA, then you will be called the best fighting game players. Even when I won EVO Japan, people say no.
Oh, it's a fluke. A fluke.
Yeah, a fluke, and it's not over. You have to win EVO USA. So that thing stuck with me. Okay, EVO USA has it has more value. It has the legacy. It has the privilege. Everything. Like prestige. So maybe that one change, maybe they should make EVO USA special and the rest of the EVO less special, like SS plus, something like that.
All trade-offs, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I think we are just living in a very good world. Like we have opportunities to play online, and then we have tournaments, we have EWC, we have a lot of things. I think we are living in a very good era of fighting games.
I think it's a healthy time, right? Every time there's change, it's difficult to figure it out. But so the last thing I guess I'd love to ask is the same question. Imagine the FGC 10 years from now.
After?
10 years from today.
Okay.
What changes would you like to see there? What's the happy timeline for the FGC 10 years from now? The crowd has feelings on more money.
More prize money for EVO? Yeah, the first change.
The one thing we've agreed on for 30 years.
Yeah, I think that would be because if you think of EVO, the biggest fighting game tournament, there should be more money. Yeah. And the next.
Let's talk about the culture. Where would you like to see the culture change?
I can tell about Pakistan. Like I don't know about overall scene. I think in the future I want Tekken or fighting game scene to be in Pakistan to be acknowledged as cricket, because
as acknowledged as cricket.
Yeah, because cricket is super popular.
Which is sort of the super sport, and yeah.
Cricketers, they are superstars in Pakistan, and which I like it. I am fan of them, but I think we are doing the same amount of work. We have been winning. We also promoting Pakistan in sports, in esports. So that change would be really nice, and maybe the government acknowledge us and give us maybe diplomatic passport or something else, or the overall scene of fighting games. I want them to be better in Pakistan, to be as same as cricket. Yeah, that would be my wish.
That's what respect looks like to you.
Huh?
That's what respect looks like to you.
Yeah.
Well, Arslan, I just want to say thank you. This has been an incredible chance to talk today. Good luck in the tournament this weekend, and
thank you.
Thanks again very much.
Thanks.
Let's hear it for Arslan.
Y si llegaste a este punto del video, me gustaría saber tu comentario al respecto sobre lo que respondió Arslan Ash en esta entrevista. Y si te gustó este video, por favor comparte, denle like y nos estaremos viendo en un siguiente video. Saludos.